Let's talk building out your accountability chart. When you come to this page, you're going to have a primary chart, and then you'll also have the ability to add draft versions. Your primary chart is going to be the one that is visible to everyone in your account. The only exception to that is in my company settings. I do have the ability to hide this. So if I scroll down a bit here, I can make my accountability chart private, meaning if I toggle this on, it will only be available to leadership team members. Those are people that are assigned to the leadership team in your account. With that, but with this off, which is, I think, default state, most people have it this way, you can edit your primary chart or you can edit draft versions of it. So the next tab over is where you can see personal draft versions where maybe you have made a copy. So I can duplicate my primary chart as a draft so I can edit things on my own, or I can create other scenarios. So you can see I can have different scenarios, maybe a 5-year view or a contingency plan view if we had to cut X amount of expenses. And so you can have these different versions. You can also share these with people. So I could set this as a primary, or I could edit the details here and choose who I'd like to share that with. So that gives you your little sandbox area. And when you do open these up, you can see it opens up in the normal editing view. It's just going to tell you which draft version you're editing up at the top. So you can make any changes and those save specifically to that draft. If I go back to my primary chart, clicking edit up here in the top allows me to come in and start adjusting details of the seats or the roles. So to open up each of these seats, I can click the edit button on the pencil icon, and that opens up the right-hand side where I can get into the roles and responsibilities. I can see who the seat holders are. And then I can also add any attachments here. And if I did want to build out skills, which we'll talk about that in another video, I would see those here. I can also refine this with Maz. You're seeing this orange bar pop up either when I'm hovering over the seat itself or in the right-hand side. This is our AI thought partner that's going to take you through and assess, hey, here's how I think this seat looks for you based on EOS best practices. And here's some things that I might suggest you do differently or add to it based on the goals or things that you have set up in your account. Maz is connected to the rest of your data, so it is going to get smarter over time with the more information that you add into your account. So you can see here, it gave me a little bit of a breakdown of here's what the seat owns today, here's what I think is solid and what is looking good, and here's where I suggest that we could make some improvements, and it's asking if that sounds good. So you can have a conversation here. Let's just say I say, yes, sounds good. It's actually going to go ahead and update the seat for me. So I don't have to do any sort of like copy and pasting and backing forth. You can see it's going to draft the updated seat based on the suggested improvements. And then it'll just automatically add to that seat once I go ahead and approve that. So you can see I can say replace existing, or I can go through and keep refining and making changes to that. We'll go ahead and replace the existing. You can see now I've got a little bit more robust of a seat built out here with everything actually having detailed descriptions added now. Other edits you might want to make as I go down the chart, I can continue to add additional seats. So if I'd like to add a seat here, I can either generate it with Maz, or I can add a seat from scratch, just like we just did. I can add additional people to the seat. So if I want to have multiple people here, I can go in and continue to add there. That's a really great scenario for people where it's a sales position and there's multiple sales people. Anything where you would have to add the same seat over and over again for multiple people, just put all of the names into one. And then the other thing you might want to do is move seats around. So these arrows are allowing you to move it left and right. And then this arrow in the center is going to be what allows you to pick it up and move it to a new section. So if I wanted to completely change who this finance and HR seat reported to, let's say we wanted to move it underneath operations, it's going to take all of the seats. You can see there's office and HR manager underneath this main one that I'm moving. It's going to take all of the seats that are underneath this one and move it to that new section. So you can see now it's down here out from underneath that visionary integrator seat. So if you do have any questions about the accountability chart, moving seats, adding seats net new, please reach out. We'd love to help. Thanks.